Part 3 of our Pesach series, why Moshe Rabbeinu? And what's Shabbos HaGadol? And why is all of this happening through Moshe Rabbeinu? Why is it's such a powerful question? What, all these miracles that are happening, were happening then in 2448 and are happening now, lots of people would say, as long as it happens, I don't really care how. And for some reason, Torah is telling us, no, we need to know through whom. We need to know, of course, Hashem is making all these miracles that are happening in the world today, huge miracles. The laws of nature are it's a jumping game. Hashem is jumping in and out of nature, above nature, in nature, back and forth. But why do we need to know? Why does Torah insist on telling us that it comes specifically from Hashem through Moshe Rabbeinu? So, we want to understand. We're learning the Sikha of, this is part of the best, we're learning the Sikha of Shabbos HaGadol, Tafshin and Aleph. So, what is the Chiddush of Moshe Rabbeinu? It's like the Chiddush of Geula. Geula is a Chiddush, right? Being kind of enslaved and stuck, that to us is normal, everybody's kind of stuck. Being unstuck is sort of a Chiddush. In the future, being unstuck will be normal. And being stuck, whether it'll exist or not, I'm not sure. But right now for us, being unstuck, you meet somebody who's like never gets stuck, you're like, wow, that's pretty amazing. So being unstuck is the Chiddush of Geula, the novelty of Geula. So just like there's a Chiddush, the Chiddush of Geula, Moshe Rabbeinu, the Chiddush of Moshe Rabbeinu, they have the same energy, or a similar energy. And that's why the Geula Dafka comes through Moshe Rabbeinu. His energy is the energy of Geula. And we see it in Sefer Tehillim. It was Kapitel Tzadik that year. We said for the Rebbe Kapitel Tzadik, it was 90th birthday. And it starts with Tefillah Moshe Ish Elokim. And ends with Vayihino Hashem Elokeinu Aleinu Maseh Yadeinu Konan Aleinu Maseh Yadeinu Konaneu. What is this Kapitel especially about? There's a Chiddush. Because it was said by Moshe Rabbeinu. Wait, don't we know Tehillim, Psalms to be through David HaMelech? Yes, we do. And yet there are 11 Tehillim, Kapitlich of Tehillim, that were composed by Moshe Rabbeinu. This is the first. The 90th one, Kapitel Tzadik, is the 90th one. It's the first of 11. Tefillah L'Moshe. Interesting, 11. There's much to say on the number 11. It's already been said a lot. And so, and therefore it's understood that this Kapitel 90 gives out the Teichen of the Avodah. It tells us who is Moshe Rabbeinu and what does he accomplish? What is he here to accomplish? When we say this Kapitel through our tefillah, we are actually making an eternal declaration worldwide about who Moshe Rabbeinu is, and what he is here, what his mission is, and what he is accomplishing by saying this Kapitel. What he's doing in the world. Chazal say, V'hi noam Hashem Elokeinu Aleinu. The end of that Kapitel is the bracha of Moshe Rabbeinu about the Mishkan. The Mishkan, at the end of the month, when it was put up, it sat for a while, and the last week in the month of Adar of that year that the Mishkan was finally put together, it was put up and taken down every day in the last week of Adar, and yet the Shekhinah did not enter the Mishkan until Moshe Rabbeinu came along and put his presence, he put his part to the Mishkan, and the Shekhinah came down. So, and what did he say? He wrote in Shetishra Shechina b'maseh yadechem. He know Hashem Elokeinu Aleinu, etc. The tefillah of Moshe Rabbeinu achieved what? His tefillah that the Shechina should come down into the Mishkan. Now that's not a one-time thing. Then, once upon a time in 2448, the Shechina came down into the Mishkan, and before that it was a Shechina. It was a Mishkan that was very special, but without Hashem's presence in it. So Moshe Rabbeinu was able to bring Hashem's presence down into the Mishkan. That's not a one-time thing. That's forever. And that's forever. Moshe Rabbeinu was always doing that. He is always here bringing Hashem's presence down into the world. And we do our part. It's a very complex partnership, how it all happens, bringing Hashem's presence down into the world. And without Moshe Rabbeinu, we would not be able to do it on our own. Why not? I don't know. Good news is, since we need Moshe Rabbeinu to unlock our potential, maybe that's it, unlock our potential to be able to draw Hashem down into the world, and he unlocks it and we work with Moshe Rabbeinu to bring Hashem's presence into the world. Why? I don't know. But good news is, he's here and he does it. So the good news is, it's working. And not only bringing Hashem into the world, this kapitel of Tehillim says, Konana Aleinu, Grund befestigt. Is that a powerful word in Yiddish? Grund befestigt. Like grounded and permanent with a kfiyas. Moshe Rabbeinu enables us to bring Hashem and brings Hashem's presence into the world with a kfiyas. Permanently, grounded, here forever, grounded, no flightiness. No, now you have it, now you don't. Grounded, kfiyas. Ladar dar. That's what it says in the Tehillim. Forever. And it will be complete in the Beis HaMikdash Shlishi. That's why it says Umasa Yadenu Konanehu in the Tehillim. It's talking about the third Beis HaMikdash, on which Hashem says in the future, in the future I will not destroy the Beis HaMikdash ever again, and I will be there permanently. Done. That is the declaration. That is the promise, and the promise holds forever, and it's true. So what is that all about? So these words that it says at the end of Kapitel 90, Tefillah l'Moshe. What is this Tefillah l'Moshe? Ish ha'Elokim. Who is Ish ha'Elokim? What is that? The beginning of the Kapitel of Tehillim, of chapter 90 in Tehillim, says, Tefillah l'Moshe, a Tefillah to Moshe, Ish ha'Elokim. Right? And at the end it says, V'hi noam Hashem Elokeinu, Masa Yadenu Konan Alei, etc. That Hashem's presence comes into the Mishkan. But who is it? A Tefillah l'Moshe, Ish Elokim. Who is this? Ish Elokim. Which, again, as we say, the kapitel ends with what he accomplishes, bringing Hashem's Shekhinah down. So one of the explanations is the following. In order to bring the revelation of Hashem down here in a way of kviyah, permanent, it's called in Hebrew, V'shechanti b'seicham. I will be in it, in the Mishkan, in them, in the world, permanently. Permanent. Remember the word kviyas, permanent. Chanana aleinu, permanent. In order to bring Hashem's presence down into the world permanently, you need two things. One, you obviously cannot bring Hashem permanently into the world from inside the world, because the world is a place of entropy. You put an orange on the table, you leave it there for a year. At the end, when you come back a year later, there's probably not even going to be a stain on the table. That would have probably evaporated too. Come back 5 years later. You will not know that there was ever an orange sitting on that table, because nothing in the world is permanent. Fact. Entropy. Everything deteriorates. Nothing except for Torah, Hashem, and Yidden. Okay, leave that to the side because we're outside of the world. But within the world, the orange, the apple, the avocado, that stuff is not permanent. So if you're going to bring Hashem, if Moshe Rabbeinu is going to bring Hashem into the world in a permanent way, he obviously has to jump outside. There has to be a kayach that is higher than the regular way of the world. The regular way of the world is going to deteriorate. It's not permanent. No permanent avocados in this world. The anhagativus, the natural way of the world is avocados don't last forever, right? Go try buying them and you'll see. How many can you buy before Pesach? Will they last throughout Pesach? So, there has to be a kayach. To bring Hashem permanently into the world, there has to be a kayach outside of the laws of nature. In nature, it doesn't work. Outside of the laws of nature, okay. That has the strength of bringing into the world the Gilui Elokus, the revelation of Hashem, which you do not have in the world. The world is a place where Hashem is hidden. Outside of that realm, Hashem is revealed. You need a kayach for Hashem to be permanently in the world from outside of the world. to transform the world so that it bypasses the limitations of the world, but also transforms the world. The world needs to become a keli, a vessel for the Gilui Velikus, for Hashem's revelation. That means Hashem is doing it from outside of the laws of nature. That's one element that you need. And in a way, and remember, Hashem wants to be in this world permanently. That's also not the nature of the world. So he has to go outside of the world to give us his permanence. You need a special kayach. What is demanded is a special kayach. Because from the point of view of the world, as we said, the world is always changing. We said, no permanent avocados. They deteriorate. They don't stay fresh forever. They don't stay here forever. That's one element. You need an element from outside of the world, outside of the laws of nature where everything deteriorates, if Hashem is going to be here permanently. And the other thing that you need, the other condition is, der Kayach darf herabkommen und sich mislavisch sein, bis zu sein beerbt zu die Gedre. But the Kayach of Hashem, to be forever, does have that Kayach, to be forever. He is forever. Inside of the world, it doesn't feel like it. He makes the world be not forever. But the kayach of him to be forever and visible forever in the world has to be expressed in each thing in the world in a different way. Everything has its own energy, specifically. Avocados are different from tuna fish sandwiches. On purpose. Hashem did that. That's not a mistake. So, he needs to put himself into the world, mislabish sein, on the level of each individual thing in the world in its own way. As is known, that a mavara has to be mislabish in levushay misparer. When something is coming to purify, someone is coming to purify, he needs to enclose himself in the clothing of the one he's purifying. In other words, if you're a good coach or therapist or, emotional assistant, whatever, a good coach, healing coach, you need to put yourself in the clothes of the one that you're there to heal. The famous story of, I think it was the Mittler Rebbe, who said that he would, be in intense sweat and intense exertion, and he told someone that when someone comes to him with a problem and is asking for a bracha, he needs to divest himself of his own way of being, enclose himself in the person that's struggling, experience the struggle from the inside of the person who's struggling, and then go outside back into his own self and find a solution for the person who's coming for a bracha, who's struggling. He has to be in himself, then out of himself, in the person who's struggling, then back in himself. That's the way it goes. When you're helping someone, you need to let go of yourself, go into them, experience what they experience, come back out and find a solution from outside of them. That's the concept. He comes into the world and he encloses himself in the world and then goes back out. Now that's called through Mashiach. Mashiach is a person. Looks like a regular person, is not a regular person, is a Jew in perfection in the world, and Hashem puts his kayach into Mashiach to be in the world, struggling unfortunately with the struggles of the world, and at the same time outside of the limitations of the world. And dafka because of that, there is the kayach to make the world into a vessel, to make the world into a permanent place to take in the pnimius, the revelation of Hashem. If the revelation of Hashem is not fully in that way, then it will not be permanent, but makiftik, and eventually leaves. So Hashem needs these two conditions to be, Hashem wants to be permanently in this world, Not only does he want to be permanently in this world, he wants to make this world a world that reflects him, that shows only him. A world that is a world, but where he, brand new thing, is openly revealed, which he never was before. And the reason, and in order to do this, Hashem does it specifically through Moshe Rabbeinu, as is brought out in the Kapitel 90. Through Moshe. Mizmor le-Moshe, Tefillah le-Moshe, Ish ha-Elokim. What is this concept of Ish ha-Elokim? That here it says in Chassidus that Moshe is the Mamutza Mechaber between Hashem and the Yidden. He's not the intermediary. God forbid, intermediary is Avodah Zarah. Mamutza Mechaber means glue that has no substance that connects two things. There's invisible glue that you don't know that there's glue there. You just know the two things that were separate became one thing. You don't know how. That is Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu is Ish Elokim, the glue, so to speak, if you could say that. Just the glue that puts together two things that could have looked separate, and you see them as one, and they become one. As it says, Anochi Oimed ben Hashem u'beinechem. It says in Parshas Ve'eschanan, I stand there between you and Hashem, not between. A mamutza has to be, a mamutza darf haben in sich von beiden Yanim welcher is mechaber. A mamutza, the intermediary, but the holy intermediary, Moshe Rabbeinu, has to be fully open godliness, openly human. Both. The two things that he's gluing together, so to speak, he has to be fully both of them. And that's why it says, Ish Elokim, Im Elokim, Lama Ish. The Im Ish, Lama Elokim. Wait, is Moshe Rabbeinu Elokim or Ish? Is he a person? What is he? It says in Medrash Tehillim, etc., and all the explanations of that Kapitel 90 of Tehillim, Machtav l'mata ish, machtav l'mata Elokim. Hashem is, so to speak, fully machtav l'mata, like the lower aspect of him, the lower energy of him is that he's a person. And the higher aspect of him is he's Elokim. Now, if that sounds revolutionary, then you ask yourself, and what about you? Who are you? Who are the Jewish people? Who are this Jewish people that people are having a hard time liking these days or whatever, right? There are lots of students all around the world who have been paid to act as if they don't like us. Should we say it in a nice way? What are they objecting to? Why don't they like us? So they don't like us because they're being paid to not like us, right? Maybe if they stop being paid, they'll start to like us. We don't know. Obviously, something's going to happen that's going to turn the whole thing around. But what is their, and their whole thing, what is their claim of all these students? Free Palestine, all this, they don't even know where it is. You people belong to a piece of land in the world. Go into the heavens. You want to be godly? I don't know. Go to the heavens. Leave us alone. Leave us the world. Basically, the students are saying, leave us to live our lives in this world. You go to the heavenly spheres. You claim that you're godly people, so go off to the godly heavenly spheres. Fly away up there in godly, bliss or something up there in the spiritual world. Leave us alone. Stop claiming that there is a piece of holy land called Eretz HaKodesh that belongs to you. No. Belongs to somebody else, and you belong up there in the clouds. That's essentially what they're saying. And we're paid to say that. That's what the students are saying. But every Jew is on some level, not as much as Moshe Rabbeinu, the intermediary. What does the world not like about us? That we're intermediaries. We're the ones who we're representatives of Hashem. They know that. And part of them says, it's fine, you want to be a representative of God, but then not here in this world. Leave the world to us. Don't be people down here in the world that actually have a piece of real estate and say that piece of real estate belongs to them. Don't do that. You're down here or you're up there. If you're down here, be like us. And if you're up there, be up there. But you can't be in both places. That's what all the students are saying. You don't belong in two realms. You don't belong as a godly people. You want to be godly, fine, like the angels, but not people. Then you can't, you can't shop at Trader Joe's. If you're going to be godly people, go in the clouds, but you can't shop at Trader Joe's and demand and look to see if the hechsher's okay on on the food. No, that you can't do. So we ourselves are on some level connected to that energy of Isha Elohim, of godly, of people, Ish, and Elohim, and godly. But Moshe Rabbeinu, right, and that's why they don't like us. It's an enigma that they can't relate to, they can't understand it, they don't like it, it annoys them, all those other things. But Moshe Rabbeinu is fully that. We try. We've got a lot of stuff, because of living in this world. We have a lot of stuff hanging on to us and a lot of addiction to gullus and addiction to the old way and in slavery to the laws of nature and all the other stuff. Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't. He is fully Ish and fully Ha'elokim. Fully. What we're striving to be, he is it. And he helps us become it. And we, as it, are the glue that glues together Hashem, God, with the world. And our job, as we're being that, is to teach the world that it's a good thing, and to get to the world to the point where they are saying, we want that. Our job is to get the world to understand not only what we are, but ask us to be it fully. And the one who spearheads that whole campaign and all of this, the whole process of Galus Segula is Moshe Rabbeinu. Ish Elohim, as it says at the end of the capital, Ish Elohim is in one person. But one other point here is Shem Elohim is Hashem's name in nature, and the level of Hashem that is in the world in nature, and therefore it's not Ish Havaya, Ish HaElohim, meaning Ish, the human part of Moshe Rabbeinu, and the human part of every Jew, as we're connected to the world, becomes unified with HaElohim, Hashem, as he connects to the world, but not with Shem Ha'etzem, Shem Havaya. Moshe, it says, Tfilah l'Moshe Ish Elohim. This min hamayim nishisihu. I drew him out of the deepest depths of reality. Okay, we're going to leave it at that. That's the topic for tomorrow's shiur, to understand again in depth who is Moshe Rabbeinu, what is he accomplishing, what are we accomplishing, how is he empowering us to destroy the evil in the world, how is he doing it, how is Hashem doing it, how is it all coming together in all of these incredible pieces, and what are we here to do, and that we'll see in the next piece. May we find ourselves in the Gula Mitzvah, especially immediately now.